the three things that we want to encourage people why we need to count everybody. If there's a political thing at play, California could lose a congressional seat. Number two, the distribution of resources as well as economics in California for communities that are undercounted. We will lose money that our cities, our counties, our local communities, neighborhoods need. And then the third thing is the redistricting that's going to happen, right? Okay, so what I'm going to go over next is the census timeline. And you don't need to write this down. I'm going to email this stuff to everyone, but I just want to kind of share it because so we're aware of the timeline, especially for those of you that plan on doing if you're doing a census workshop, if you want to get your young people involved in some volunteer work, for the preachers, if you want to do some preaching series and use the toolkit that we have, so you kind of understand how to put things in order. So mid-March, residents will be invited to respond. So remember we talked about the postcards that will go out? That will begin happening in mid-March. So really, if you're trying to do any census outreach, and all of us should be doing something, then you want to make sure that February, you capitalize on February and early March, because mid-March, the postcards are going to start going out to residents, okay? And so if you're thinking about events, if you're thinking about coming on my radio show, and many of you I've invited to come on the radio show, and let's have a conversation about what you're working on. Dorima, you and I definitely need to have you on the radio show, talk about what Ideal is doing. So that's what you want to keep in mind. If you're a pastor or if your pastor is planning to do any preaching, he or she wants to do the preaching February, early March, because the postcards again will go out mid-March. And then between March 16th and March 24th, there'll be a reminder letter that will go out to non-respondents. So if you didn't respond in mid-March, then the second half of March, a second wave of reminder letters will go out to non-respondents. And then the end of March to early April, another postcard will go out to non-respondents. So the way to think about this, again, if you're planning to do any kind of events, if you're going to do any kind of programming at your church, any kind of outreach, February, early March, you want to make sure to host your events, preach your sermons, you know, do your community outreach, right? Once we get into March, people should have received their postcards. So that's mid-March. If you're doing any kind of outreach, that's when you want to begin to tell people, look for your postcard, look for the reminder, because from mid-March to April, the postcards are going to go out and reminder letters and postcards are going to go out to non-respondents. So for those that are thinking about how to engage, February to mid-March, you want to just tell people, make sure to participate. Mid-March to early April, you want to remind those who haven't responded yet to go ahead and respond. If you received your postcard, if you received your reminder letter, if you received your reminder postcard, please make sure to respond. Okay, so mid-March, early April, we should be telling people, yes, Patricia, jobs are available. Patricia Langford asked, are jobs still available? Yes. And we're going to get into that because there's some opportunities with the mayor's office around Goodwill ambassadors. It's not a lot of money, but it's something that could potentially help somebody out. So yes, jobs are still available. They still are hiring numerators. And another opportunity to look for jobs maybe with LASA, if they're still hiring people for the homeless count. So that might be another area to consider, Patricia, or if you're sharing information. And then in April, letters plus questionnaires will go out to non-respondents. And then late April, it's not too late, postcards will go out. So from mid-March all the way through April, we want to remind people to fill out their postcards. If you're hosting, if your church or your organization is going to be hosting a CAC, which is those the mobile systems where people can use your system to do their online response, that's a time to tell people to come down to your site. If you're going to have your computers available, if you have one of the devices from the Census, if you're doing the CAC, then that's an opportunity for people to come down, to use your devices, to use your system so they can complete the census online. I went to a training on Monday and was told families will get, yes, there'll be an official letter with a code. Absolutely, Dorima, right. So mid-March, and that's what we're saying, mid-March to April, they'll get a reminder card, absolutely. Because they will go out mid-March, they'll go out, and then, I'm sorry, beginning of March, they'll be invited to respond. Mid-March, they'll start getting their responding letters. Thank you, Dorima, absolutely. And so for those of you that are hosting, where people can fill out the online form, March is the time to invite people to come down because they should have received a postcard and they should have received their letter. In April, they'll get the letter plus a questionnaire for non-respondents. So if you haven't responded by March and April 1st, you'll get more letters. You'll get an "It's Not Too Late" postcard. So March and April, people are going to start getting more and more invitations to make sure to respond if they haven't responded yet, okay? And then March through August, then they're going to start conducting the self-response. They're going to start IDing, non-ID processing. They're going to conduct census questionnaire assistance. And so that's when they move, the Census Bureau is going to move into conducting additional opportunities, if you will, to get people to respond if they haven't responded by that April 1st push. And the official push date, again, is April 1st, right? The official push date is April 1st, but there's going to be a number of different reminders and letters that will go out for people to go do their census. So again, February, early March, if you're doing outreach, if you're preaching, if you're going to be doing any community work, you want to do that in February, early March. April, our messaging should be look for your card, look for the letter, look for the reminder card, look for the reminder letter, and please begin to do your census and respond, okay? May through July, they're going to conduct non-response follow-ups. And so that's when census enumerators will visit your home, will visit someone's home. So May through July, that's when they'll start doing the knocking on the door and coming to people's homes. Again, for those doing outreach, after May, our message now becomes, if you haven't conducted your census online, then you want to make sure to respond to the enumerators that will come to your door. Because for some people, they're not going to do it online, but we want to remind them come May, if you haven't done it, if you haven't responded, then you want to make sure to open your door or respond to the enumerator at your door, right? And so that's just a way to think about how to frame our engagement. February to early March, we're telling people, look out for your postcard, look out for your letter. For those that have received it, you can begin to respond. Mid-March through April, we want to tell people if they haven't responded to pay attention to their letters, pay attention to the reminder cards, and it's not too late. Even if they get the card in March, and if they don't do it till late April, it's okay, it's not too late. That's the message you want to give people, because some people in their mind think, well, I didn't do it on April 1st, maybe it's too late. It's not too late. That's what we want to tell people, it's not too late. So when we're thinking about engagement, April, the message is it's not too late. And then May through July, if they haven't done online, we want to remind people to make sure to respond to the enumerators that may come by their door, okay? And the last day for community residents to respond is July 31st. So all of us who are part of engagement, all of us who are working with churches and nonprofits, July 31st is the last day. And so we have an opportunity from now really until July to keep pushing for people to respond to the census. A lot of people think April 1st, I didn't do it, it's done, it's too late. April through July 1st, we can remind people it's not too late. So what that means for you and I is our engagement might change from don't forget to do it to it's not too late to do it, okay? We got to make sure the people that have been missed in the past are counted. And so that's why there's so much energy, so much effort around everyone being counted. And you know our motto that Pastor Murray gave us, be counted or be counted out. So we don't want anyone to be counted out.